Since you guys have shown so much interest in number sequences and synchronicity, I thought I'd take this conversation further and talk to you about signs and test when your intentions and wishes are being fulfilled or not being fulfilled. And at the end of this video, I'll tell you what the biggest sign is that you're not in alignment with what you want. All right, I'll start here. When you're consciously creating, which means you're living on purpose to attract what you want, you will be tested. This happens to everyone. It's happened to me more times than I can count. It's part of the process. I used to believe the universe was testing us, but I'm no longer 100% sold on that theory. I used to think that, but now I see that the universe supports whatever we choose to do. We have the power to create, and much of that power lies within our ability to make decisions. If we make decisions that don't align with what we want, well, our desires will be delayed. That's where the tests come in, because you must be ready for what you want. When you're ready, it'll come, but not until then. How you respond to those tests is a determining factor of your readiness or unreadiness to receive. Here's an example of a test, and I'll use something that happened to me years ago to demonstrate how this works. I had a really tough spiritual journey because I refused to let go of bad habits that had created my identity. I hung on to those things with a death grip. So as I was envisioning every day this life where I was healthy, wealthy, joyful, and surrounded by respectful, loving people, I was still binge drinking, complaining, hanging around toxic people, chasing after a narcissist, begging him to love me. And all of those behaviors made me feel like shit. None of my intentions were coming to fruition, and I just couldn't understand why. Well, I was failing all the tests, which meant on a subconscious level, I wasn't ready. This divine energy that we all have access to responds to our vibration, and it communicates with us when our vibe is low and when it's high. Flashback to younger Paula, and keep in mind what I just told you about my bad habits. Back then, every day was an irritating mess. I constantly lost stuff. I stayed sick with pesky head colds, urinary issues, and if something was going around, I'd get it. I argued with people a lot. There was a lot of drama to the point I had to watch my back when I was out and about. My bank account was always overdrawn. I couldn't even go out to eat in peace because something stupid would happen. That was my life. Now, I didn't know this then, but all this stupid stuff happened because my vibration was so low. It's not normal for life to be a circus every single day. Now, it would help if you recognized these tests and these signs, because that's how the universe tells you that your vibration matches turmoil. So, I thought that because I was reading the self-help books and envisioning what I wanted, I could easily attract a wonderful life without making any real changes. No. Reading the books and envisioning were two critical steps in the process, but not enough to climb out of that very deep hole I had dug and crawled into. Here's another example of a test. You ignore your intuition or that gut feeling. You're presented with something and immediately it feels off. Your gut feeling says, this isn't for you, walk away. Instead, you run towards that thing for whatever reason, and it ends badly, and it also stalls you from getting what you want. During that time, when I was toying with conscious creation but refused to give up my old identity so that the new one could make its debut, I didn't see number sequences. I didn't experience synchronicity. That meant I wasn't aligned with what I wanted, because to be aligned, you must act like the person you want to be. When I got the memo on this, I started seeing number sequences. Although I didn't have the life I wanted, those episodes of synchronicity showed up to say, hey, Bravo, dumbass, you finally got off that bar stool. We're cooking with grease now. Serious. So those episodes of synchronicity kept me motivated and inspired. And they gave me the strength to move forward, not backwards, forward. Moving forward meant taking on the identity that was meant for me. And that old one didn't go silently in the night. My ego was huge. And between it and my hair, I don't know how it fit inside my car. I was tested a lot, but I finally started passing the test. That's when my intentions and desires started showing up in physical form. My days were no longer an irritating disaster from daylight until dark. Overall, my experiences with people became more pleasant. People even started giving me gifts for no reason, and that had never happened before. My bouts of sickness became less frequent, and my overall health improved. Small amounts of money started coming to me from unexpected sources. And now I realize those instances were glimpses into the wealth I ultimately attracted. Now, because I got the memo, I expressed my gratitude for those small amounts of money, and I affirmed that I was a magnet for money. Old Paula, who didn't have the memo, would have been like, I only won $30, screw that, I need more than that, what can I do with that? So instead of being grateful for that money, I would have gotten pissed if it wasn't enough. Low vibration. Expressing gratitude and affirming that there is more where that came from. High vibration. Keep that vibration high and money falls out of the clear blue sky. Hell, abundance of all shapes and sizes falls out of the sky. That becomes your norm. If this sounds confusing, it's because it is. It's simple yet so complex. But the good news is you don't have to figure any of this out on your own. Just buy my book. Thought Snob, The Modern Spiritual Playbook for a Better Life is on Amazon. The link is in my bio. I take you step by step through the conscious creation process, and this book is an easy read. It's highly educational, but it's also highly entertaining. It's available in 3 formats: paperback, Kindle, and audiobook. And the audiobook's still in the show, so if audiobooks are your thing, you got to get mine. Now I'll leave you with this. Pay attention to the patterns in your day-to-day life and ask yourself, are these patterns pleasant or irritating? If your answer is irritating, I want you to sit down and I want you to make notes about everything that's happened over the past week. Go back 7 days or farther if you can remember the details about those days. When you finish your notes, look for repeated patterns of unpleasant experiences. If those patterns show more unpleasant experiences than pleasant experiences, then you're probably failing test, and that's causing you to vibe low. As long as you carry around a low vibration, you won't attract what you want. So it boils down to 2 things. First, how badly do you want it? Do you want something so badly that you're willing to give up what makes you miserable? Second, are your most dominant decisions and actions rooted in ego or love? Do those things reflect what you want or what you don't want?